Hey everybody, mel0n here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a bit of a product update video, I guess you could say. For those of you who remember, a couple months ago I covered the Xraypad Cicada Wing 1.0 grips, and I was a really big fan of those. And actually, to be completely honest with you, I still am. I'm actually still using the ones I put on my Keychron M3 in the video on my Keychron M3, and they've actually held up incredibly well despite like 6 to 8 hours of daily use, because this is my work editing mouse. These grips have held up insanely well, which I was not expecting. So we have the Xraypad Cicada Wing 2.0 grips to talk about today. Now, these are going to be very interesting because there are some differences between these grips and the 1.0s, and of course it's going to be interesting to see if Xraypad can dethrone themselves. The 1.0s are the best grips I've used this year, hands down. These are like unbeatable for the price and the performance you get for them. So it'll be interesting to see if the 2.0s can actually dethrone the 1.0s and Xraypad can trade their crown to themselves, I guess, for the best grips of this year. We'll see what happens, but let's get right into it because there's a lot to cover with the Xraypad Cicada Wing 2.0s. This product was not sent up by Xraypad. I purchased this myself, so this review is not sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form. As always, there will be timestamps down in the description for you guys if you're looking for a particular topic, and if you have any questions I don't cover in this video, feel free to leave a comment down below. So these are going to have the same thickness as the V1 Cicada Wing grips, which is going to maintain the 0.22mm thickness. These are a skin touch design. They are a non-textured design where there's less of a texture, there's just more surface area, meaning that there's more grip. Of course, whether that actually means there's going to be more grip remains to be seen. Now, as you can see here on the back of the box, it does still say that these are made of poron, which is the same what they said about the V1s. So this is going to be the same situation where they are made out of poron, quote unquote. To be honest with you, I don't really care what they're made of. I just care if they perform. So we'll see how well they compare to the performance of the V1s. Now, the V2s are using the same 3M adhesive that was found on the V1s, which was quite nice because if you put them on and you made an error, it was pretty easy to take them on and put them back on again. So it's more of a short-term reusable rather than a long-term reusable in my experience with the V1s. We'll see if that's different on the V2s. And the last change is going to be on the V2 grips here is that there are going to be updates to the pre-cut kits. Now, I've always gotten the universal kits, but there is slight changes to the pre-cut kits for the V2, so we'll go over those in a little bit. So the pricing for the Cicada Wing 2.0s, each set, pre-cut, universal, DIY, whatever you want it to be, retail for $13.99 USD. However, they are often on sale on Xraypad's website for around the $7.99 USD mark. There are a bunch of available kits this time around with the V2s. There are kits for the DeathAdder V2 Pro and V3 Pro, the Razor Viper Ultimate, the Razor Viper V2, the G Pro, the GPX 1.0, 2.0, Pulsar X and X2 Mini, VGN Dragonfly, and a universal sheet, which is the one I have here today. There is also a DIY sheet option. Now, Xraypad has also confirmed there will be more kits coming down the line for such as mice like the X2 V2, which just recently released. So if you're looking for a set for that one, stay tuned. Xraypad will most likely have those up relatively soon. There is also additional color options available. So there is the standard black grips. There is also white, and then there is now also a black purple and a white purple. It would be nice to see maybe more colors in the future. I would love to see like a black green or like a white pink version in the future. That'd be nice to see in the future, but for now it's nice to see some color options at least available on launch. Now, in terms of the unboxing experience, you'll notice right away that there is a huge change in the actual packaging for the Cicada Wing 2.0s, which this is one area that I really did criticize the V1s for, because they were basically just slapped in an envelope and then all that was inside was just a couple alcohol wipes and the grips were inside a plastic bag. And the plastic bag was pretty bad because the grips were quite sticky and it was really hard to get the grips out of the bag, which was quite frustrating. So Xraypad has taken note of that and they have changed the packaging completely. So this is the new packaging. Number one, I love the look of it. It's gorgeous. It looks really nice. It has like an iridescent shine over this entire thing. You can probably see it on the camera. Beautiful packaging, feels very premium. Love what they did here. So this packaging opens up and just kind of folds out like this. Now inside you will find a instruction manual here. There was also a set of alcohol wipes, but I've since removed them from the package. And then there was of course the grips themselves. Now the grips have also been changed in how they are packaged. The grips are still in a bag. However, they're in like a matte plastic kind of a bag now, which is a lot less sticky. So the grips don't stick to the bag anymore. It's very easy to remove them. And one nice benefit is that you can actually reuse the packaging to store the grips. So as you can see here, I've only used a couple pieces. So if I want to store them, I can just put them face down here, fold this over, fold this, and you're done. And you have like a little storage container for your grips, which is a nice little touch from Xraypad. Overall, great changes to the packaging. I'm very happy to see what they did here. I'm really impressed with the packaging overall. The grips installation is pretty much identical to how it was in the V1s. Again, it is using the same adhesive, so it's very easy to put them on. And again, you can remove them quite easily in short term. Long term usage, do find they kind of warp a little bit. Like I did take these ones off after I applied them. As a bit of a warp that kind of appeared on this side. The adhesive is removable for one application. It's very much a short term, not a long term kind of a situation. But overall, the installation process was very simple. They were very easy to get on. Just be sure to use the included alcohol wipes to wipe off the surface of your mouse before you put them on, just to make sure the grips actually make good adhesion to the surface. Let's talk about performance between the Cicada Wing V2s and the Cicada Wing V1s. So the biggest difference, as I kind of mentioned before, is going to be the texture difference. So this is the Cicada Wing V1s. I've been using these on my daily driver Keychron M3, which is my work editing mouse. Has been used for about 3 months now. And as you can see, these grips have held up incredibly well, and actually surprisingly have not started to smudge or wear out at all, which is quite impressive. But these are the textural grips. So these grips relied on the stickiness of the material, but also the texture for a lot of grip. Whereas on the V2s, as you can see here, they are this flat texture. These are supposed to operate like a Formula One tire, where there's just more surface area, which equals more grip. So of course there is a minor texture on them. As you can see, there's a bit of a texturing there, but to the hand, they feel pretty much completely flat. In terms of the actual performance, I really did find that these performed very similarly. The one difference, aside from the drag clicking thing, because it's a lot easier to drag click on the V1s than it is in the V2s, but in terms of like actual performance, I did find that it was a little easier for me to keep my grip consistent on the V2s than the V1s. I really do think it is because the flat design does give you a little better of a grip. So that is one big positive of the V2s. But aside from that, they did perform really similar. I was actually quite surprised. One other nice thing to see it's carrying over from the V1 grips to the V2 grips is that there is also no residue still, which is a big plus. I've been using these V1s for going on around 3 months now. This is my Keychron M3. I use this every single day for probably around 6 to 8 hours a day. I've also been using these same grips on my daily driver keyboard, which is my work editing and gaming keyboard. And the V1 grips have held up insanely well. I'm shocked how well they've held up despite how much wear I've had on them. Given on how these are the same material, there is just a textural difference primarily between them. I'm expecting these V2s to operate exactly the same as the V1s, which again is a bit of an assumption on my part, but based off of what I've seen over my 2-3 weeks of testing now, they are identical in terms of performance and they're identical in terms of the actual durability. And I fully expect these grips to last just as long as these ones, if not longer, because it's going to take a lot longer for a flat surface like this here on the Cicada Wing 2.0s to wear off, as opposed to a textured surface like there is on the V1s here. Now, as you may notice, I've only used a couple pieces of the Cicada Wing 2.0s, and I've only used them on my Vaxi Outside AX because, to be completely honest with you, I haven't had a need to replace the V1s on my other devices right now because they've held up so good. I don't want to waste the grips, and they still perform perfectly fine. So I really didn't feel the need to remove the grips on my Keychron M3 and put on the V2s because these are still holding up perfectly fine. Why would I replace them on here? They work great. I would just use them on a different mice. So that's why I've only used a couple pieces of it. If something does change over time, I'll be sure to make a follow-up video saying, hey, these bit the dust like a couple weeks after my review, go with these ones instead. Now, as I mentioned before, there is a difference in the kits that are coming with the V2 grips. So if you buy a pre-cut kit, it is going to come with 4 of these little hex stickers here and 4 of these square stickers. You can use these for other contact points on the mouse. You can use them to put on other mice. Like if you just want to do like a claw grip kind of a situation, you only put them on contact points. You can do that. You can put them on your keyboard, whatever you want to do with them. They're included in the box, which is a really nice touch. But yeah, that is pretty much everything I have to say about the Cicada Wing 2.0 grips. I highly recommend them. These are awesome grips. I really enjoy my time using them, and they will definitely be a mainstay in a lot of mice in the future. I know they're going to be sitting on my Vaxi Outside AX for a very, very long time. So highly recommend you check these guys out if you're in the market for grips. If you'd like to learn more about the V2 grips, I'll have the product page linked down in the description for you. And if you do want to learn more about the V1 grips that I covered before, I'll link the video on the screen. I'll try and put it over here, but YouTube's probably going to put it over here. So it'll be on the screen in this general vicinity, but you can go check that out if you're interested. Thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.